Seeking to take advantage of one of our precious Premier League games in hand, not just West Ham, but also Man City. Manchester City welcome West Ham to the Etihad on Wednesday evening. At the time of writing this and talking to you now, Man City sit top of the Premier League table, while West Ham are languishing in 15th place and remain still in that danger of a relegation battle. But as I mentioned earlier on, how do you stop Haaland? Another game and another record broken by Haaland, who scored his 50th goal of the season to help Man City beat Fulham 2-1 at Craven Cottage on Sunday, becoming the first English top-flight player to reach half a century of goals across all competitions in 92 bloody years. Now, like I said earlier on, the number 9 has got 34 Premier League goals to his name and just one goal away from breaking the all-time goal-scoring record for a single season in the division, which is currently held by Andy Cole and Alan Shearer. Am I making this better or worse for you to listen to? His penalty inside the opening 3 minutes was somewhat overshadowed by the stunning strike from Alvarez that turned out to be the match winner for Manchester City, extended their winning run in the Premier League to 8 matches and moving them above Arsenal to the top of the table for the first time in over 70 days. But Pep Guardiola's side, who will have 2 games in hand on Arsenal as they face Chelsea on Tuesday, have been unstoppable of late on all fronts, particularly in the Premier League, although defensive fatalities have been evident in the last few months, having kept only 2 clean sheets in their last 12 top flight matches. Overall, Manchester City have only kept a clean sheet in 31% of all their league fixtures. That's 10 out of 32 games so far this season. So something to think about there. Nevertheless, Man City's exceptional form in front of goal has helped them to outscore the opponents on a consistent basis, and they'll be confident of securing another 3 points on Wednesday against the team they've already beaten this season, West Ham, where they beat us back in August at home, first game of the season, 2-0. Now, they have won their last 6 meetings against West Ham at the Etihad, currently boast the best home record in the Premier League, having accumulated 43 points from a possible 48 available, while they've won each of the last 24 top flight games played on a Wednesday, the longest winning run by a team on a specific day in the Premier League's history. Now, coming on to West Ham, less than a week after securing a confidence-boosted 4-0 victory against Bournemouth, West Ham are back down in the dumps after defeats against Liverpool and Crystal Palace that could have put our season security at the forefront. And the 2-1 loss against Liverpool last Wednesday, a game which obviously sent ripples down the West Ham fan base, over the VAR decision with the handball, which I don't actually understand how football works anymore, if I'm being brutally honest. And then, of course, something similar happened in the game against Crystal Palace at the weekend as well. Now let's get into team news. Not just one player, but there are 2 big doubts for Manchester City. Nathan Ake and the main man himself, Kevin De Bruyne, are both injury doubts, with the former still recovering from a hamstring injury and the latter suffering with an unspecified problem that forced him to miss the win over Fulham. Now, losing De Bruyne, as we all know, the quality that he has is a huge boost for West Ham. However, that doesn't stop Man City from having players to cover. They have plenty of bloody players to cover. But if you do lose a De Bruyne from your team this season, he's played 29 games. He's scored 7 goals with, are you ready for this one? 16 assists. What a ridiculous stat. What a ridiculous stat, and it shows you how important a player he has been for Manchester City. Now, Guardiola apparently didn't seem too concerned about the problem that kept him out of the trip to Fulham, so he'll be hopeful that he'll be available, but he's not really necessarily been in the midst of training as well, so we do need to keep an eye on that situation. But if Manchester City do start the game without De Bruyne, that is a positive, certainly one positive that West Ham can take from this game. Now, coming on to West Ham, Kurt Zouma, of course, was withdrawn in the first half defeat in the first half after the defeat against Crystal Palace. It doesn't look that good for the short term, but the long term, hopefully he will be back before the end of the season. And we've got Gianluca Scamacca, of course, missing, undergoing knee surgery. So Mickey Antonio or Danny Ings will continue to battle for a centre forward spot. For me, it's got to be Antonio. But this does mean a return to the side for Angelo Ogbonna, who will probably be in the starting 11 alongside Agerd as well. But you never know. Taylor Kira could also bring in another centre back if he decides to go for a back three and back five and bring Taylor Kira into that role as well. But it's gonna be a tough task, no matter what player is or isn't available. Will De Bruyne be fit enough to make the West Ham game? I don't think he'll be there, but that shouldn't be our main focus because Man City have an abundance of players to call upon, and I'm not even going to go through the list because it is a ridiculous amount of players. So one steps outside, the other one steps forward, and that's just what they continue to do. West Ham, within reason, need to manage the situation really well. I think we're going to pack out the defence, we're going to pack out the midfield, and we're probably going to leave Antonio up top himself. But I think we're going to have to sit reasonably deep because that's what Man City don't tend to like. Not many teams have actually gone to Man City or played them this season and actually got success. But you've got to look at Brentford and see what they did. They played a deep line. They let Haaland have the space further up the field and not make his galloping runs and closed in tight against players like De Bruyne. If you don't have a De Bruyne, 16 assists this season. So as much as I'm saying they've got other players to step into the occasion, but you lose a De Bruyne, you lose your 20-odd goal involvements in a season, and then you shut up Haaland if you can. Not many people can do it, but there's nothing to stop West Ham from doing it. You never know. The Italian fine wine of Angelo Ogbonna might be able to do the job as well. So leave your comments in and let me know your thoughts on the game ahead of Wednesday evening. If you are new around here, please hit the subscribe button. Why not? If you've not done it already, then do it now. Please also hit the thumbs up as well. That helps our channel out, gives us a big boost as well. So as you can see there, if you're interested in becoming a channel member, then click on the membership option as well. On top of that, yes, absolutely. Now, before I do go, I'm going to ask you for one thing, and that is your score prediction. Listen, I'm a half glass full West Ham man. I'm a half glass full West Ham guy. And it's been a tough old season, isn't it? And sometimes I find that West Ham turn up when we least expect it. Although I thought we'd maybe do something against Liverpool. I also thought we'd do something against Crystal Palace as well. And I still went into Crystal Palace game feeling reasonably positive. Now we're coming up against a side that just score goals for fun. I'd take a draw. I'd snap your hand off for a draw right now. I don't think there's going to be a draw in this game. It's going to be either a 2-1 victory to West Ham or a 6-0 victory to Man City. I'm scared of it. I am scared of the game, but I hope West Ham don't turn up scared and don't turn up in fear and have done their due diligence and done their homework on the situation as well, and turn up and just fight for the shirt. That's all we want, is that little bit of fight, that little bit of determination. Not even a little bit, 100%. Give it all. Give it everything you can do and prove to us fans that you're there wanting to stay for the Premier League and stay for the party. Man City ain't invincible. They're not invincible. They're close, but they're not invincible. Take it easy, everyone. And, of course, come on, your hands.